frenetic the pace has been in that first half. 42 points, the most on record for the available records in Aggie history, at least since '91.
And the last time Wyoming gave up 40.5 was against Utah in 2007. Last time they gave up 300 yards and a half last year against San Diego State. And if you're Coach Anderson, like you said, just keep doing what you've been doing.
Wyoming, they've lost 8 consecutive games in the state of Utah. And look at this return. What a beginning to the second half. Finally brought down at the 35-yard line, and Kerwin Williams, I would say he's atoned for that mistake in the first quarter. He says, keep feeding me, keep kicking it to me, and I'm going to make you pay. And that's what he did again on that return.
He's one of those, we talked about it in the first half, one of those special players that you hold your breath every time he touches the football because he's such a game changer. He can change the field so fast, and any return, he's remarkable.
54-yard return. He's got 2 kicks, 50-plus already in this game. So Chucky Keaton, you saw the numbers, very impressive. Here is Robert Turbin, and look at Turbin go. Going to be down at about the 22-yard line. Robert Turbin getting closer to that mark by Roger Grant. 6th all-time leading rusher.
And that was Tashawn Gibson on the tackle. Maybe the first time we mentioned his name tonight. Coach Anderson said when they saw him on film, he's an NFL caliber player. Really stands out on film as the best defensive player here for Wyoming, making it really his first play.
Started every game in his Wyoming career. This is his 42nd start. Again, going to keep it on the ground. This is Turbin. Close to a first down. Going to mark him at about the 14.
And back in the red zone. They're perfect. 19 of 19, 16 touchdowns. And if you're defensive coordinator Marty English for Wyoming, what do you do? What did you dial up during half to try to change? So far, nothing. What Coach Gary Anderson said for Utah State, we're not going to change anything. And so far, he's exactly right. That offensive line dominating the line of scrimmage.
An offset eye with Tialavea. Bust free for Smith. He's got another rushing touchdown. The second touchdown by Michael Smith. Now 18 rushing touchdowns for the Aggies on the year. Wow, too easy that time, Kevin.
Minute 15 into the second half, Aggies back into the end zone already. And I think, are they making a statement tonight? You know, I wondered what kind of confidence. As a matter of fact, there's a sign as you're coming into Logan that says, believe it. And I wondered, do the Aggies really believe after losing 3 games in the last half minute, almost on the last play, do they come in believing? And sure enough, up 30.
Thompson with the point after is good. And the Aggies with 49 points, leading 49-19. Let's revisit our automatic car credit keys of the game, Kevin.
Yeah, we talked about some of the keys were to let Chucky loose for Utah State. Early, it went for 205 yards in the first half. For Wyoming, you wanted to control the football to keep the Aggie offense off the field. Well, obviously, this is why they wanted to keep Utah State off the field. And then for Utah State on the defensive side, if they could get pressure on Smith, which they've been able to do on a couple of occasions, forcing a punt, every time Utah State has touched the football, they've gone the distance. Remarkable.
Brooks, you've got more than an injury.
Yeah, big defensive tackle, Mike Purcell, number 50. He's here. He's got tape all over his left calf. Came out of the locker room, out of pads, out of uniform, and that might have been why the Aggies were able to run so easy on that last drive. Their big D tackle went down. I cannot get a report from Wyoming what the injury is. They just said that he's hurt and he's done. But guys, back to you.
The junior from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, of course, the defensive front being gashed by this Aggie offense, and that will not help. From the 1 into the 22, and not much more after that.
I'm curious to see now if this Aggie defense comes out with the same kind of intensity that they played with in the first half. As you recall, down 12-0 before they even got the football. But this defense played well, forced a few punts, and the Aggie offense has just been dominant.
Just a 3-play, 33-yard drive. Over a minute consumed of clock, and it was Smith with a 14-yard touchdown scamper.
Set up by the Kerwin Williams return.
Crossing over the middle, and it's caught for a first down. Minimal pickup that time. This was McNeil, and Wagner now going to leave the playing field. Kind of
little stinger looks like on that left shoulder.
That shoulder.
Oh, that hurts if you're in Aggie defense. Your leader walking over underneath the student section, trying to shake this thing off. If you've ever had a stinger and your arm goes dead, oh, that is a helpless feeling. He's right back next to his defensive coordinator, said, I'm ready.
5 tackles in that first half and that interception. There's Smith going to tuck it and run to the edge. And then he's hit, and it will be a personal foul. Gallagher a little too anxious that time on the sideline. And not a smart play by Kyle Gallagher. And it was close to a first down anyway. It's going to tack on 15 additional yards. And
after the play, defense, personal foul, late hit, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it might give Wyoming some juice here in the second half.
You can see their sideline all of a sudden come to life. That's the last thing you want to do if you're an Aggie defense, is to give them a little spark. Coach Anderson's not going to like that. Pulled Gallagher right off the sideline. Bobby Wagner right back in the ball game. Not a smart play by Gallagher. Smith was a good 2 steps out of bounds that time.
Gallagher with the 4 first half tackles. Inside linebacking core really good for Utah State coming into this thing. Gallagher with 35 tackles and a pass breakup. The senior from Woodland, California. Alexander off the edge. Well, not much room to go. And really, they have not really emphasized running the football. 13 carries for just 48 yards in that first half. And again, Dowdy, and you know, Coach Anderson credits Dowdy for the reason of the good play of Wagner and Gallagher. He says they get spelled from time to time from Dowdy.
And you could see him running down the line of scrimmage that time, chasing Alexander down from behind. Showing good speed. You're right, though. Smith threw for almost 200 yards in the first half, 177 on 15 of 21. Not much in the ground. Of course, the Aggies only give up 112 on the ground a game.
This is McNeil off the edge. Chris McNeil, the junior out of California. Last year had 28 catches for 257 yards and 3 touchdowns. Had 2 grabs against Nebraska 2 weeks ago.
Although this Wyoming offense is built in such a way that the quick passing game is almost like a run game.
It really is. They really don't attack that much down the field. They protect this quarterback, and he's done a nice job getting the ball out quickly. Here is Smith again. And it's broken up. Nicely done off the far side. Will Davis again, and isn't he having a terrific game?
Boy, what a terrific close that time by Davis. As Huron had the first down mark, and Davis closed on him, got the left arm around, knocked it away, forcing a punt. Aggie defense getting the ball back for that Aggie offense. And maybe Purcell's out because he doesn't want any more for this Wyoming defensive line. We'll see how this defense responds for Wyoming. Coach Marty English, what does he dial up against this Aggie offense?
McCoy has done a nice job punting. 2 punts inside the 20. This is the 3rd. Fair catch called for and made by Morrison. Morrison with a touchdown in this ball game.
We talked about it in the first half, the Aggie pride in that wide receiving core, blocking down the field for each other and for the running game. And anytime you're averaging over 300 yards a game rushing, your receivers have got to be doing a good job down the field. And the Aggies converting on 3rd down. 6 of 6 in that first half. Didn't have a 3rd down conversion in that first drive here in the second.
And 3rd down defense on the year, 30%. Coach Anderson said, I've never had a team maintain that 30%. Doing a nice job against this Wyoming offense. Keaton going to keep it. Then tosses it late to Turbin. Turbin up past the 42-yard line.
This is almost beginning to look like a video game, Michael. It's remarkable. And Keaton's 25 yards down the field with Turbin. And nice job by Turbin, still trailing him, saying, I'm ready. Whenever you are, give me the ball. And the Aggies right back to the line of scrimmage with this up-tempo offense.
Finishing the play out this time.
You see a nice job by Keaton on the zone read. Marshall obviously did well in the first half on that little carry up the middle. I'm not sure what they're going to review. Are they going to review whether it's a forward pitch? It has to be what the review is here.
I thought it was close too, actually.
It looked to me from our angle that it was backwards. What if we got another view of this? I sure thought that he was either parallel or behind Keaton. And Keaton, to his credit, always aware. He's 15, 20 yards downfield, still ready to make that pitch for a few extra yards, which Turbin got them. Now, who gets credit for the carry for the yardage?
I was going to ask our stats guy. I think you have to give it to Keaton, and then wherever Turbin took over, I think he gets the rest of it. But I think it will be close. So, yeah, Chucky gets 16 on the play, and then Turbin gets an additional 9. So hopefully the play will stand. Again, I thought it was close. Okay, this will give us a good.
So he pitched it at 30. Ooh.
It's going to be close. That momentum kind of.
Yeah, the momentum carrying it forward. So let's see. Pitches it here at the 33. Right at the 33. It looks like it's going sideways, but Turbin actually catches it at the 34. Good review here. Good spot by either officials or the Wyoming coaching staff. That's very much worth the review. I think they may bring this one back.
And, you know, Turbin, the fact that Turbin kind of surpassed the ball, got in front of the ball, and kind of caught it with his backhand, perhaps won't help the Aggie cause either.
When I first saw it, it looked like it was well behind Chucky because Turbin was still 2 yards behind him when he made the pitch. But from those angles, this is going to be awfully close.
Official now off the phone. He's going to give us the word here.
We have an illegal forward pass at the 33-yard line. That penalty is enforced 5 yards from the 33. It'll be first down and 10 at the 28-yard line.
So Chucky's momentum is really moving here. And yeah, you can see Turbin sort of closing the gap right there. Chucky thinking he's pitching it out straight, but the momentum of his movement as well as the ball moving forward, that's probably a good call. Still a first down run.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing. It's still a first down. It'll be a 1st and 10 after the illegal forward pass, but well, at the 28-yard line as we're under 11 minutes to play in this third quarter. Aggies really yet to be stopped on offense. Here's Keaton with time. Incomplete, looking to go to Morrison on this near side.
This play was kind of blown up from the beginning. Keaton didn't field the shotgun snap very cleanly. Threw off his timing. Threw sort of a fastball to the outside corner that time. Hard for Morrison to hold on.
Rushing yards, Aggies almost 200.
Right on their average.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. Nice open field tackle by Wyoming. So able to bring up a 3rd down here for the Aggies against Kerwin Williams.
Nice open field tackle, as you mentioned. It was Travis Reynolds out there trying to block for Kerwin Williams, and he was trying to block the defender to the inside and saying, Kerwin, get to the outside. I got him sealed. Kerwin cut back to the inside. Right back into the defender. 3rd and long.
It was Luke Anderson that made that nice stop. Utah State 6 for 6 on 3rd downs in that first half. In the motion, Smith out of the backfield. Here is Chucky. Going to step up and run, and he can run for this. And he's going to have a first down across the 40. And again, it was Anderson who tripped him up, but Keaton having success, and that's a nice decision.
Saw that field open up, everybody covered down the field, and then he made a man miss, and that was the key to get to the first down yardage. That's why he got so excited. Right here, he makes Hendricks miss. Hendricks has had a tough ball game tonight for Wyoming. That's why he gets up jumping and excited, saying, I'm keeping that 7 for 7 3rd down conversion streak alive.
13-yard run on the scamper. Here is Smith again. Got the legs taken out from under him by Gibson. There's the guy that we kind of talked about at the beginning of the telecast. A nice tackle that time.
Aggies big chunks of yardage on every play. Averaged almost 10 yards a play in the first half. They're getting 5 and 6 and 8 and 10 yards. Here's that play by Keaton again. Nobody open down the field. Makes Hendricks miss right there. Stepping out of that tackle, getting to the first down marker. He's an exciting freshman. Boy, the future here at Utah State is awfully bright with this young guy at the helm.
2nd and 3 now. There is Turbin. Gets to the edge, got a nice block. And spins his way to about the 37-yard line. Aggies will pick up another first down. And Turbin getting closer to that mark by Grant.
And it's a helpless feeling as a defense right now. Chucky's beating you with his legs and with his arm. The offensive line's beating you up. Turbin, that Hulk that you called him in the first half, just ripping up big chunks of yardage, getting closer and closer to the red zone.
Aggies over 200 yards rushing. Turbin now with 97 rushing yards. I think he needs 5 to break it.
That's exactly right. And this is the first bad throw by Chucky Keaton all night long. Had Xavier Martin on a little out cut, had him open, just came up a little short. Little 3-step, 5-step drop. Kind of got the nose of the football down and didn't get it out to the outside to Martin. Martin did have a step on the defender.
Here's Williams. Williams down at about the 23-yard line. And the Aggies continue to chew up yards via the rushing game.
Tashawn Gibson again making a tackle, but this time 14 yards downfield. I'm sure he's saying, come on, guys. Somebody make a play up front.
They gave up 333 rushing yards to Nebraska 2 weeks ago on 49 attempts. Williams again just tripped up. They're just gashing this Cowboy front.
Remarkable. Again, Tashawn Gibson on the tackle, but again, 15 yards downfield. Aggies again in the red zone. Never seen anything like this. They're just gashing them up front. This offensive line just dominating. Look at this. Push, push. Tialavea coming across on the kick-out block. Kerwin Williams not even touched until he gets inside the 10.
Look at that, 266 rushing yards. Still 7.5 to play in the third quarter. Smith near the goal line, closing in on his third touchdown of the night.
He smelled it, but Gibson turned him sideways. Stopped his momentum at the goal line. And this defensive line, look at them. They got their hands on their hips. They're gassed. This Aggie offense right back to the line of scrimmage in the Wildcat.
This is Smith again. He's close. There it is. Touchdown Aggies. The third of the game by Michael Smith. And they are dominating the Cowboys every way imaginable.
Did you expect this, Michael?
I thought they'd have their best performance of the year. I didn't expect a 50-burger at this point.
Wow. There's still half a quarter to go here in the third. I didn't expect it either. I thought this was going to be more like the game they had against Colorado State. But whatever they've done over the last week to put that BYU game out of their memory and come back out with this kind of performance here tonight is nothing short of remarkable.
Thompson again with the PAT. What a performance the Aggies are putting on. 56-19. Second half, but boy, the Aggies hot on offense. 56 points. Still 7:08 remaining in the third quarter. What are we going to see next here, Kevin?
Onside kick? I don't know. Maybe when the weather gets under 50, something heats up for this Aggie offense. Who knows? But this is a special performance tonight.
You know, we talked about at the beginning of the telecast, really 3 plays away from being undefeated. They've outperformed every team they've played. They just have had a difficult time finishing games. Now they have a huge lead here as Howard gets another touchback, his second here of the game. We'll hold that thought. 7:08 remaining to be played in the third quarter. The Aggies dominating the Cowboys 56-19. 8 remaining in this third quarter. The Aggies poised to finish this one off, and they still have another quarter to play. They get some momentum against Fresno State next week. That would mean a lot to this club if they can start conference play 1-0, and that would give them a huge leg up heading into the conference.
And I've got to believe that after now we got some extracurricular stuff going on. Al Lapuaho involved in that, looks like. But, you know, if you can go into the conference with this kind of momentum, as you talked about, I got to believe that the race is wide open. Without Boise State in the mix this year, Boise putting a hurt on Fresno last night, Louisiana playing a little bit better.
After the play, personal foul, number 69. Personal foul, number 77. Those fouls cancel. Second down.
So the play will stand. Big Al not afraid to mix it up in there.
Big Al and John Hutchins, the senior out of Minnesota. It'll be Cowboy football from the 25, and it'll be a 2nd and 5.
You worry a little bit about that in this kind of ball game, that you've got that gets a little chippy. You want to keep your poise, and as you said, finish. That's what Coach Anderson's going to want here, is for his team to finish.
Huron with a catch. He'll be just shy of a 1st down. Robert Huron, the sophomore from Los Angeles. Talked about it. He was the leading receiver coming to this game for the Cowboys. OJ with a nice stop there.
Finishing has been the problem all year long. So now, finishing in this kind of game is a little different.
This is Agbana with the catch. So Mazi Agbana gets the 1st down. One-time Snow Badger. Brought his teammate DJ Lester along with him.
When they came to recruit those two young men, the recruiting coordinator that came over basically said, we can't leave without both of them. They're a package deal. And they put up some big numbers down in Ephraim at Snow College those 2 years that they were there. Great young man.
Here is Smith. Throws on the run, a little bit behind Huron. Brooks, what do you have for us?
Hey guys, I'm standing here with Jermaine Younger. You might remember him from 89 to 93. He was part of that Vegas Bowl win, the big win with Anthony Calvillo in 93 over BYU, and you ripped down the goalposts. What brings you to Utah State tonight?
Hey, it's my team, man. I come to support. You know what I mean? I've been here all season, just giving the guys the support and looking at these guys. Hey, we're doing good. We're doing good. I'm proud of our guys.
So do you live here locally, and what are you up to these days?
I'm not local. I'm down in Bountiful, which is right outside of Salt Lake, and I'm just teaching and coaching high school. I coach at Woods Cross High School right now. We're doing pretty good. Hoping to get a playoff berth. Oh, wow.
So are you liking what you're seeing out of your former team tonight?
You know what? I am. Offensively, I mean, we're rolling offensively. Defensively, we're not doing too bad. But, it's just one game, and we got to get consistent.
Number 13.
I mean, from our past games this season, we should have 3 more wins. But, it's just that consistency, and I think this will be a good confidence booster for us this week, going into next week.
All right. Thanks, Jermaine. Have a great night. Yep. Back to you, Michael.
So pass interference on Robertson. That off arm, guilty of the infraction, giving Wyoming a 1st down. Trying to move the chains. They're doing it slowly, not like Utah State doing it in big chunks. And there's Will Davis again. Play after play he's made on the edge.
He's having a terrific ball game, isn't he? Hey, it was nice to see Jermaine, one of my former teammates here at Utah State. He and I played together back in those years, and boy, it looks like he can still play down there. Sure, he would like to get out and play. As he said, coaching down at Woods Cross. Great player here at Utah State.
Once an Aggie, always an Aggie.
Always an Aggie. That's exactly right. But you're right, Will Davis making some great plays, both in the special teams game as well as on the defensive side.
Smith trying to go to McNeil, incomplete.
Like a little mix up in the route. Had Agbana going down the sideline and McNeil kind of coming underneath him. Looked like it might have been a missed route by one of those two, and Smith kind of threw it in between them.
You thought of the freshman Smith?
I think he runs the offense that they've got fairly well. I mean, the quick passing game, but where he gets into trouble is when he gets into this 3rd and long, 3rd and more than 7 or 8, and he has to go away from the short passing game into more of an intermediate passing game. That's where he's struggled here tonight.
It's going to be a 3rd and 14, so it is very long. Wyoming just 3 of 7 on 3rd downs. Aggie defense doing a nice job. They continue to do a nice job on the 3rd downs. We kind of talked about it. 30% 3rd down defense. 4:57 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The Aggies rolling 56-19. On a 3rd and long for the Cowboy offense. Guy that graduated high school early at Salem, Oregon. They got him in January, and he's done a nice job with this program so far, although has that interception earlier in the 1st half. And they'll be well shy of a 1st down.
We talked a little bit before we went to break about Smith. In this quick strike, this quick snap, catch, throw offense, he does a nice job making the simple plays, but he's not real strong going down the field yet. I think, as he matures in the system, I think he'll get better at that. I mean, he's 22 out of 31 for 195, 196 yards right now. Not a lot of yards per completion, or per attempt, I should say. So, I think he's doing a good job in the short passing game, but he's got to really improve his down the field skill.
Takes an Aggie bounce. They'll be down at about the 27-yard line. And I think you have to give Utah State some credit, too, for those shorter completions, because they've been able to wrap up. That first drive, there were a couple of stiff arms and able to get some yards after contact. But in the second half and really in the second quarter, not much after contact.
And I thought in that first drive, Coach Anderson came out with a 2- and 3-man rush. I thought as the half went along that they started bringing a little bit more pressure, made him get it out faster, and then they covered up. I thought their defensive secondaries did a terrific job, and linebackers of covering up.
Here is Robert Turbin coming closer to that record. Needs about maybe 2 more after this attempt.
I think we've got Adam Kennedy in the ballgame. Chucky Keaton had a night. 5 touchdown throws tonight.
15 of 20 for 213 and 5 touchdowns. Also ran for over 40 yards.
Terrific night for that young freshman.
There is Turbin. Now over 100 yards rushing now for the 4th consecutive week.
And he's got to be close to getting into that next spot on the all-time list.
So he surpassed it with that last run, moving ahead of Roger Grant. Now 6th all-time leading rusher in Aggie history. Is Kennedy going to keep it close to a first down? Kennedy was able to see some action in that Weber State game. There it is. Robert Turbin, congratulations from us up here. Number 6 all-time rushing yards.
And a junior. You think about this next year with Turbin, and if he can remain healthy, and Chucky Keaton, this offense has a chance to be awfully special for the next couple of years. And for the first time tonight, we see the Utah State punt team.
So Bennett will come out to punt the football away, and he's done a terrific job. I don't think he gets enough credit. See if we can get an Aggie bounce. So they're not going to let it bounce more than once, and they'll down at about the 23. So Alford downing it there, but he's been one of the best punters in the nation. Bennett.
Probably a little cold over there, standing on the sideline the entire game. Hasn't really had a chance to use his. Matter of fact, that was his first punt of the ball game. And now a lot of 2nd and 3rd team guys going to get some action for this Aggie offense and defense. Terrific performance by this first team offense tonight, especially on offense. I thought, even though the defense, they bent a little bit, didn't break much. This offense was really, really special tonight. Of course, we still got a quarter to go.
In a hole early, we kind of mentioned that, down 12-0 before they got their hands on the ball.
5-yard penalty. First down.
And with those substitutions, Gallagher, thinking that he was back on the field, couldn't get off. The Aggies get caught with 12 men on the field. But you're right, down 12-0 before the Aggie offense even touched the football to go 8 consecutive possessions. Besides the kneel down, the last play of the first half, 8 consecutive possessions with touchdowns. Fantastic.
Yeah, that is job well done. Everybody on that offense. And of course, for Coach Baldwin as well. Here's Smith just throwing this one away. Talked about Smith, how he graduated high school early. Able to get him in January. Be a part of spring ball. And it takes a lot to start a true freshman. I mean, the Aggies are doing it. There's 7 freshmen starting right now in the FBS. Only 5 true freshmen, and we've got 2 of them in this game, and they both performed well.
They both performed well. I think we saw one emerge tonight as a special talent, though. We thought that they need to turn Chucky loose tonight. They've done that. He threw for 5 touchdowns. Still yet to throw an interception.
Smith. Pass was behind. This was Dotson who makes another nice catch. Been impressed with him. The ball hasn't been right there, and he's had to reach behind a couple times for some catches, but he's been able to make them. But Wyoming, they have a lot of youth too. That's true freshman to true freshman.
And again, they came in 3-1. in this ball game. You know, they had won the close games, as you mentioned, the Weber State game, the Bowling Green game, win against Texas State. Not quite the same level of competition that Utah State played, except for Nebraska, obviously, last week in Laramie.
And that was a game, you know, a half. They were very competitive. Not until the second half that got away. This pass incomplete. Again, looking to go to Doxson on that sideline. And right there, in your guy, Maziak Bana, made that huge 48-yard catch for a touchdown. I think it was 14-7 at that point. And then Nebraska just kind of took control in that second half. But, you know, you're right. It hasn't been quite the quality of competition that the Aggies have played. But they've played well.
And Coach Christensen said, you know, this is going to be the best team that we play. Coach Fairchild at Colorado State said the same thing. You know, I just think this Aggie team, it has been the best football team on the field each of their first 5 games this year.
Coach Christensen saying about Utah State, they play harder than Nebraska does.
Wow, what a compliment.
That's a very good compliment. I'm sure, you know, Utah State thrilled to hear that. And despite the 1-3 record coming into this game, those heartbreaking losses, still playing at a very high level.
And you got to credit Coach Gary Anderson and this coaching staff for Utah State to keep the Aggies believing in themselves, even having gone down in those 3 games.
They're going to get Smith. Now 3 of 9 on third downs. Just have not been able to get things going on that critical down.
And in many cases, it's been 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 12 or 3rd and 14. And when you're in that kind of position, especially as a freshman quarterback, it makes it awfully difficult, especially when your offense is predicated on the short, quick throws. When you don't have that available to you and you've got to go down the field a little bit further, it makes it more difficult.
Bobby Wagner, of course, NFL caliber talent. Talked to Coach Anderson. Where do you think he'll be drafted? I'm going to stay away from that. We've got scouts in here about 3 times every week. And they're looking at, of course, Bobby Wagner. And, you know, certainly he's a next level guy. He's a Sunday guy without question.
Well, what they love about him, he's 6'1", 232, but he plays bigger and he runs faster.
It's that wingspan.
He's got those long arms.
Look at the WAC standings so far, and it's early. See Hawaii, of course, Fresno losing one to Boise, but that's a non-conference game. Nevada and perhaps the Spartans. That might be you know, the surprise, and La Tech beating Idaho. I know it was 3-2, I think, at one point in that game. Turbin off the edge.
Of course, San Jose State down in Provo tonight.
That's right.
Playing against the Cougars. Another late hit here, getting a little chippy. But it is wide open, I think, this year.
Now the Spartans beating Colorado State a week ago
in
Hughes Stadium.
In Fort Collins. That's exactly right. So, you know, maybe a little bit improved there. Nevada maybe a little bit down.
Defense number 44. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Josh Bazoons, he is one of the playmakers on defense, and we really have not called his name that much tonight out of Prior Lake, Minnesota. Coming in, though, all sorts of conference accolades, and he's been quiet. Here's Kennedy with time, fires, incomplete again. Penalty markers, and there was some pushing and shoving again, and tempers getting out of control here as we inch closer to ending this 3rd quarter.
A lot of frustration right now down on the field. We're going to get a hold here against Utah State. Kennedy, big arm.
Holding offense, number 68. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Napaloo, the guilty party there.
All in all, I would say this offensive line has just been dominant again here tonight, haven't they?
They've been terrific, and you knew they were a good run-blocking offensive line. It was the pass protection that it's been a little bit suspect as Turbin gets some of that yardage back, and obviously they've kept Chucky clean. Don't think he was sacked tonight.
No, but Chucky does a good job with his feet as well, getting out of some sacks because he can move in the pocket. Now we'll get a chance to see Adam Kennedy here in the 4th quarter.
Talk more about the Utah State quarterbacks and really coming into the season. Interesting story. The end of the 3rd quarter, Aggies add on to their lead 56-0.